Hi everyone, welcome to an introductory video for the 2020 Crafty Goals collab with Amalia. Hi Amalia and everyone. So if you watched my planner video on the 4th, which was planning for 2020, you know that I joined this collab for 2020. Now Amalia ran it last year. I don't know if she did prior to that, but last year was the first I knew about it. And one of my good friends, Stamp Girl, was in it, and I watched all the videos I could. And Beth from Bourbon Creek Crafts was in it too, and among other people, and of course Amalia. And I thought I need to do that for 2020, so I asked to join in, and I'm in. And this is going to be a really good thing for me. So when I did my planner video, I showed you these two things. This is a Dollar Tree video, and the only thing, video, Dollar Tree planner. It's only monthlies, and I'm using it to track my collabs. But what we have to do in this collab with Amalia is set goals. So these are all my collabs and live, everything I'm going to put up on YouTube, right? Well, not everything, but everything that has to be scheduled to be put up on YouTube. So let me move that out of the way for a moment, because the next thing is this composition book where I'm actually writing my goals. And when I did the planner video, I wasn't done with this yet because I was struggling with something. And what I was struggling with was the fact that I was trying to make the collabs be my goals, and they're not. They're the end means of the goals. So, for example, I have a goal. Well, let me step back a minute. First, what I did is I did a brain dump. What are all the things I want to do in 2020? And then I also made this list of collabs. I was leaning towards, I've got to track collabs, but that is not, I'm not going to track collabs that way. I have to make a page in here for every month, and I already have a calendar, so I'm going to use the calendar instead. But once I realized the collabs are a way to achieve some of those goals, then I could move forward. So then I came up with this. Let me move something else out of the way. I came up with this Crafty Goals tracking chart, which is similar to what Beth did and Amalia, but I just made it a little bigger. I only have 6 months on 2 pages, and I reserved, that's why the paper clip, I reserved a couple pages for, I didn't draw them out yet, but for July through December. So I have 13 crafty goals, I'll say. I'm going to have a lot more. I mean, not a lot more, but I'm going to have some other personal ones. So my goals, and the reason I'm doing this is to keep me on track and try and use some of my stash up and spend less. I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy, because I already have, and I'll go through that in a little while. So as far as the collabs, really the only goal for me is that I get the projects done and the videos up on time. And I say, see pink calendar, and that brings us back to this. So for goal number 1, this whole book is going to be pretty much goal number 1. So I have all my collabs written in here, and as I get the videos done and uploaded, I am highlighting them in yellow so I know they're done, and then I can go over that with you for goal number 1 only at the end of the month. Okay, curb personal crafty spending, track my spending. So I was starting to do another chart, draw it out like this while I was thinking about it, and then I remembered I had this, it's like a 6-month, let me show you. I had bought this I don't know if I got it in 2018 or 19, but it's called Budget Edition. It's for the Happy Planner, undated Budget Edition. It only has about 6 months, and you get all this stuff in it. I don't really need all this stuff, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to, and I actually thought about taking out a page. Let me show you one of the pages I am going to be using. It looks like this. And I thought, that's perfect. It'd just be crafty expenses, the date, the amount, where I bought it from, and I can write, you know, I don't want to put the details of what I bought. That's on the receipts. But whether I paid cash, credit, debit, and was it a need or a want? That's kind of important. Like need, I could see being certain adhesives or glues or something, and want is going to be almost everything else in the crafty department for me. So I pulled out this cover I already had, and it was the Little Miss Maker, Maker's Gonna Make. And I pulled out these rings that I had, that I'd taken off a Happy Planner since I made it bigger and used it like a Franken planner, which did not work for me at all. Franken planning does not work for me. Too many planners to have to try and figure out. So this way, I'm really using one major planner, but to get down into details, that's what I'm using these for. So I'm going to share with you. I've already started. And really this is all I'm going to be using, and I probably am only going to hopefully need, like, I'm going to keep this going. This might cover a couple months, so I may not need all these other tabs, but for now, because there's like 5 sheets of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each month. And then I do like this. Where did I have the most trouble? What could I improve this month? But I can just use this as my year-end summary or something. And what goals can I set for next month? I can change that to year also. So far, and I counted the second one in January, because it was December 28th, you know, and I got it January 2nd. It was definitely a want. It was from Jen Evers, Quality Crafts, Crafty Garage Sale. I have trouble not buying from her because there's some neat stuff that, you know, I don't see elsewhere. I also went to Tuesday morning on the way home from visiting my mother on Thursday, January 2nd. Now, some of what I bought there, the receipt was actually $70, but I got 2 bags of Ghirardelli candy, which I don't really need, but I did. And so I took that off because that isn't really for my crafting, although maybe it will be, because maybe I'll add it into things. Anyway, $63.85 of crafty stuff. Some of it will be going in Random Acts of Kindness or Happy Mail. Some of it won't. And then I already have a pre-order started with Quality Crafts, Jen Evers' Facebook group. She has some Stampendous, and I already can say these are wants and not needs, but they were so cute I couldn't resist. And one of them, one of the items, if I get it in time, I'll be using with my 12 by 12 paper. But I don't have the amount yet because she's not going to invoice in full until after the January 11th Crafty Garage Sale, which I'll probably be watching. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy, but I am really going to try hard to curb it because this is way too much. At most in a month, I don't want to spend more than $100. And now I just watched, who was it? It was Amalia who doing her year-end summary, and she had shown a summary of what she bought, and she said, see this one item? I could have bought a Scan and Cut. Well, a Brother Scan and Cut is on my wish list, and I agree. I mean, if I took 3 months and didn't buy, that would be enough to buy a Brother Scan and Cut, right? Maybe even less than that. So now, that said, right now, I don't have room for a Brother Scan and Cut until I do some of my other crafty goals. So I'm going to just keep this open and keep it with my books here. So that's number 2. And then what I'll do is I'll just check off in January, at the end of January, if I did track my spending, which looks like I'm okay. All right. Use up 3 12 by 12 paper pads. I know that's not very many. I do have a end of month collab that I do with Stamp Girl, where we use the same paper pad until we finish it. We don't push ourselves to finish in 1 month. I just know myself, I can't do that. I cannot do that, especially when I'm in 13 collabs total, including this one. I cannot do that, but maybe in 3 months or 4 months I can. So definitely I can use 3 12 by 12 paper pads. I feel is reasonable. And I'll push myself to try and do more than that, like maybe 3.5 or something, but 3 is my goal. And if I stop buying them, it'll become easier as the couple years go by, right, to use them up. I have one of those 4 cube units, and right now I can't fit any more 12 by 12s in it. I have 3 sitting on the floor next to it. So yeah, I'm not going to be buying any more 12 by 12 paper pads. Yeah. Actually, that's not totally fair, because some of that paper is specialty papers or retired Stampin' Up stuff, but I'll say 3 cubes is paper 12 by 12 paper pads. That does not even include the collections that I have. I have 2, well, let me step back. I'll just say I have the full cube plus some, because I have 2 rolling cropper hopper carts that are overflowing with collections. I had to find a better solution. I don't like that one. But I also have some Bo Bunny pads and Graphic 45 pads not on those shelves. And my Christmas and Halloween and fall and autumn are not on those shelves. So I have way too much paper. So definitely this is not inclusive of holiday. This is non-holiday. Well, I can't say that, because the 3rd one might end up being a holiday paper pad. I also started one last year with Bourbon Creek Crafts collab. It wasn't a have to use it in a month, but I told her that I still want to finish that paper pad, and I still have it out, and I still want to do that. So I'm going to be trying to use that up. So I might end up finishing 4, but one of them was already started in last year. Okay, moving on. So I have a collab that will help me achieve that goal. That's why I'm saying the collabs aren't the goal, really. They're the means to achieve these goals. I want to use up 4 small paper pads, and I've done an intro video on my Smash That Small Paper Pad. That should have gone up on the 5th. This will be up on the 11th. And I've already picked the first one that I'm going to be using, and hopefully that will be done by no later than the end of March. If I can finish it in 2 months, that's even better. Then I can use 6 pads in a year. But I know towards, maybe in these months I'll be able to do it, but towards the end of the year, I end up in craft fairs, and with the holidays and birthdays and things that happen towards the end of the year, I don't know. So even if I get 4 done earlier, I may not be able to finish any more than that, or maybe only 1 more, not 2 more towards the end of the year. Okay. Make, photograph, and try harder to sell jewelry. I have a micro business called Dahlia Designs, which is for jewelry, and that was my first adult crafty passion, and I have sort of gotten away from making jewelry much. I make it sometimes, but I want to really get back into that. I seem to be having trouble just making myself sit at my jewelry desk, and right now part of that is because this room is a mess. and I have been starting to work on that slowly, but that is why I started a collab called Having Fun Making Jewelry, to force myself to sit down and make jewelry, and also challenge myself to make jewelry of a particular color, particular style, that kind of thing. So that collab is on the 18th each month, and I hope you'll come watch it. But then, not only making the jewelry, I have to photograph it. I have an Etsy shop. I'm really bad at photographing my stuff. I cannot seem to take good pictures, but I need to try harder to do that, and to try and sell the jewelry either on Etsy or, first of all, to make the jewelry worthy of selling, and then take the photographs so that it look nice, and also to try and sell it at the craft fairs still, and that's a whole nother goal. Okay, I want to do 2 random acts of kindness per month. I actually am in a group called the Art Bar on Facebook. They also have a YouTube channel. It's run by Danina. She has like 4 names, but Dixon is her last name. Her last name. I think it's Danina Green Brown Dixon or something like that. Anyway, in the Facebook group, she is having a year-long Star of the Art Bar, where she picked the first person, right, to be the star of the art bar, and then those of us who agreed to join this have to send just a, she said a 6x9 envelope, but basically a small mailing envelope full of goodies, things that we like, things we know they'll like, extra stuff we have, that kind of thing. So that I will be doing. Oh, and then the person that's the star for that month, so the person for January, gets to pick who it'll be for February, and so on and so on. And I told Danina I am signing up for this not to receive, but I have a lot of stuff, and I think I can certainly send some things, 6x9 or whatever envelope, to a recipient. And she said, "You realize this is a year long, right?" I'm like, "Yep." Don't think I'll have a problem with that. So the first one I'll show later how I'm going to track. And then one random one, and that might not be as big an envelope or something, but I do want to send a second random act of kindness each month. And it could just be a card with some little die cuts in it, or it could be some paper, or I don't know. I don't know what it'll be. So I have not done that one yet. Uh-oh. My light just went off. Don't even tell me. Okay, sorry guys. I don't know how that happened. I think my foot hit the cord. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to track that. Use up 3 planner sticker books. I talked about this on my January 5th planner video. I have 23 Happy Planner sticker books. And then I have some other little sticker books like from Walmart and Michael's, and that were gifted to me. Plus I have some Etsy shop stickers for planners. They're not going to count as a book, but the books, actually I want to use up 3, and that's going to be a big task for me because those books are pretty thick and have lots of stickers. And also I tend to grab from different books, but I'm going to try and use one to start, which is the mom one I talked about. But then I'm going to try and use up some other ones as well and stick with those, get through them through the year. We'll see how I do. I'm not as hopeful that I'll be successful with that. I'll use up stickers, but I also changed from a Happy Planner this year to a retired Stampin' Up! One, and it's a different layout, and I'm not sure exactly how much I can decorate in that. Okay, so wait, there's more. And I left the back blank because I can put comments here on January to June, just thoughts I'm having as I go through the months. And here I put use 15 non-planner stickers. Now I have in 2020. That's probably not as big a goal, but I have another collab I started at the suggestion of a friend. Hi, Linnea. I've picked out 12, okay? One for each month. I've numbered them in which order I'm going to use them. That barely puts a dent in my sticker supply. But I made this 15 because I figure I can use at least 3 more sheets as part of other things that I'm doing, like my embellishments collab, you know, things like that. Okay, use up 6 minimum, 6 washi rolls. This might be hard too. Now I do have a couple like this one. I figured that will be an easy one to do if I use it quickly in the next couple months, because it's snowflakes and stuff. So yeah, I have some plans for that, and so I'm gonna really work on that. I'm gonna start a bin for empties, and we'll get to that with the collabs. Well, actually, I don't know if we will on this video, but I'm in it's not really a collab, it's a challenge called #UseItUp2020, hosted by Beth at Bourbon Creek Crafts. And it's basically every month show us what you used up, whether it's you finished a paper pad, you finished a washi roll, you finished a sticker pack. So as I finish things, I'm going to throw them in this bucket or bin I'm going to have. And at the end of the month, on the 28th, I'll be sharing with you what I was able to use up each month. Okay, hopefully more than what I have in here. Okay, use up all store-bought card bases and envelopes, non-Stampin' Up. I am not including Stampin' Up stuff in here. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. This is stuff that is not Stampin' Up. I have a big stash other than Stampin' Up. My Stampin' Up stash is pretty big too. It might include some retired Stampin' Up stuff, but on this I have a sweater box, plastic sweater box. That's how I store a lot of stuff stacked up. But I have one that is full of store-bought card bases and envelopes. I want to use them all up in 2020. And I think I can do that as part of these other collabs and things that I have or that I'm in. For Stampin' Up, I have a goal, and I consider it crafty. I want to have at least 4 1/4 online card classes. It's something I've only done once before. I don't feel I'm good at it, so I want to push myself to make myself have a card class online once per quarter minimum. And whether they're popular or not, I just want to do it to know that I can, and you know, see what interest I get with it and that kind of thing. DAHL, when I write that, that means Dahlia Designs. That's my jewelry. I want to pursue 8 craft fairs and sign up and attend them. There's a couple that I do every year. Well, one that I do every year, which is where my mother used to live in an over 55 community. They have a craft fair every November, and I sign up for that one every year. Now she's in a nursing home, and they had one in December, and they're going to have it again next year, but on a Saturday. They had it on a Wednesday this year. So those 2 I'll definitely be doing. They did okay at them both. But I want to do 1 or 2 in like the April, May, June time frame at least. Maybe 3, like 3 spring and 5 fall or winter. Preferably fall. But in order to get into these, I need to start researching them now. So yeah, so pursue 8 craft fairs and sign up and attend. And lastly, organize 1 craft item area per month. See schedule. So when I was doing my brain dump, I actually had that as number 2, and I forgot to write it on here as number 2. I have made a list of what I want to organize each month in here, so that by the end of 2020, I can be able to do a tour of my craft room and be comfortable doing that. Okay, my craft business, whatever room. It's everything. It's my jewelry business, my Stampin' Up business, and my personal crafting, which really shouldn't be in this room. Anyway, so the first thing is in January, I have a card table with several bins on it that have nothing but non-Stampin' Up stamps and dies. but they are a mess, and I need to label them, make them uniform, and inventory them. And oh, by the way, that doesn't include Christmas ones. It doesn't include all the fall ones. They're in with my Christmas stuff or my fall stuff or Halloween. So I don't think I want to keep them separate though, because I just find it hard to keep the stamps and dies separated. I think I need a category for them in with my other, but the first thing I need to do is get the ones I do have that are what I think are more generic, organized, uniform, and done. And that's going to take me a day or two. Right now I have in my calendar, my personal calendar, I've scheduled Friday the 24th to get that moving, and that's going to be at least an all day. And I may have to designate another day, and that's kind of late in the month, but I have to get all these other collabs done first. So then, you know, February is, I have shoe boxes full of Swarovski crystals and pearls. I did start on this, and it took me all day to do just one size 4mm bicones of Swarovski crystals to get them into different containers that I'll like better, I think. And organize them. So I want to do that, and that will actually hopefully make more shelf space for other beads that I can reorganize later, and I can condense how I have things. Okay, so that's my crafty goals at this point. I really have another one, which is destash, but I think that'll be side effects of doing some of these others, so I didn't really write it on here. And like I said, I left some pages here. Now, how am I gonna, this is just like check boxes and stuff. How am I gonna really track this? So this, getting all collab projects done, I'm going to use my pink calendar from Dollar Tree. And that will really just be to track item number 1, which is making sure I get all my collabs done on time. And highlight them as I get the videos done. Okay, curb my personal crafty spending since I'm going to be accountable to you guys. And I know Amalia doesn't like to show how much she's spending on it, and I don't really either, but I feel like if I don't, that's not really holding me accountable to you. So I'm not going to show you all my personal budgets and all that stuff, but I will show you what I'm spending on non-Stampin' Up! Personal craft items. And hopefully that's going to be like Zippo, or, you know, $15 or something, not $68, $65, $100, you know, that kind of stuff. Anyway, okay, so then we get to number 3, and I made a sheet for each of the remaining goals. So, use up 3 12x12 paper pads. How did I do it? January, well, I didn't do it yet, but January, I'm starting with, oops, I'm giving it away. I'm starting with a particular 12x12, and there's 40 or 48 sheets left, plus lots of scraps. So I'm going to monitor each month how many sheets I used and how many are left to use. So I can hopefully use up those 40 plus sheets in 2 months, maybe 3. Okay, probably 3. Use up 4 small paper pads. You will have already seen this. What I'm starting with is Simple Stories 6x8 Simple Vintage Botanicals, and it starts with 24 double-sided sheets, and then there's also ephemera and stickers and things that go with it. So I'm going to monitor again. Here's what I'm starting with. How many did I use in January? So February, then I'm starting with whatever, and I'm going to track it that way. I have front and back to do that. Goal 5, jewelry pieces made. I'm just going to log them. I hope I left enough room for that. The collab, so as I make the pieces for the January 18th collab, I'm going to at least just write a brief, you know, like 1 beaded necklace, 1 chainmail, whatever I make, you know, that kind of thing on here. And I can put 4 collab, and then if I make some other pieces, hopefully I can write them on here as well. And Also, I should have a column photographed. I might do that. Pieces made, photographed, yes, no. In Etsy, yes, no. That kind of thing. I may do that still. Goal 6, random acts of kindness. So I have the month, the star of the art bar, who it was and when I mailed it, and random, which I didn't do yet. So yeah, had to pick somebody. Goal 7, use up 3 planner sticker books. I'm just gonna write in here as I use some or finish some, which ones they were. That, you know, will just be written in as done, and then I can put a check mark over whichever month I finish it up. That one I think is going to be a hard one for me. Use up 15 non-planner sticker sheets or packs. Same thing. I'm just going to write when I use it up, what it was, and throw it in my empties bin. Goal 9, use up 6 washi tape rolls. Same thing. I can maybe just put a tiny little snip, you know, when I'm about to finish a piece, roll up and say I finished this one up. Because some of them I don't know. I think this actually is a Simple Stories one, but I couldn't tell you for sure because there's no information in the inside like some have. So that's what I'll do for that. Use up all store-bought card bases and envelopes. So as I finish something, it'll go in my empties, but also I'll write it down here what it was I finished. And when the bin is empty, I'll note that on the sheet. Goal 11, Stampin' Up. Have at least 4 online card classes so I can document when I scheduled them for, what the classes were about, and put that in here. I also have other Stampin' Up. I keep my business stuff in spreadsheets as well as my overall personal budget, honestly. Pursue 8 local craft fairs and do them for the jewelry business primarily. I actually do try and sell a little bit of paper crafting, but not much. Anyway, I can write down the actions I took and then also write down the dates the craft fairs are and then check them off after I attend them, but I don't have them on here yet. And 13, organize 1 craft item area per month. See list done previously, which I showed you is this one. And see if I get them done. So I'll write them down. But my intent is to have this room pretty well organized so that I'm at least comfortable that I can show people the room. What I'm going to do, I'm going to track my goals in here. My collabs, goal number 1 will be tracked in here. And my crafty spending will be tracked in here. And my overall planning will be in this book, which I showed in the video on January 5th. So if you missed that, please go back and watch it. This is a retired Stampin' Up planner. I think they have one similar, but in like a peachy color kind of thing. So yeah, I'm tracking my actions to get to meeting those goals, excuse me, plus my personal stuff in this planner. And I'm liking the horizontal because I can actually write everything down, and I have a system now, which I didn't have before, to highlight things as I finish them, or to circle in red things I didn't get done and then write a date when I rescheduled them, that kind of thing. And my video deadlines I'm writing in a turquoise, my favorite color, pen. So yeah, that's how I'm using that planner, my overall planner. I can't use too many planners because I get overwhelmed with that and then I just don't use them. But I think I can just use this to keep a running total, not month to month necessarily. I can do subtotals on here for my crafty spending. And this is a good way to track just my collabs and lives and maybe challenge deadlines for YouTube. Okay, so but I'm not going to fill this up with when do I have to make it and all that. That's all going to be in this planner. This will just be tracking, did I get them done, did I meet goal number 1. Okay, so I'm gonna let you go now. I hope you like that. Go check out Amalia and all the other participants in this wonderful collab. This is a great collab to get me going for 2020 in the right direction, I think. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to have other personal goals for organization especially and things, but right now this is what I'm doing for 2020 for my crafty goals with Amalia. I hope you like it, and come back every month. We're going to post on the first Saturday of each month with our results and, you know, maybe extra things we got done, or, you know, what we fell short in and why, and what we're going to do about it, and that kind of stuff. So come back. I think it's February 1st is the first one. So we'll see you on February 1st, and we'll see how I did. All right. Bye for now, guys. Thanks for watching.